You're going to need to use that counter pick super efficiently. We got a lot of jungle bans here as well as Jarvan. First off the board, take it away from Junhao. It's one of his most played, but also take it for your own setup. So many tools still left on the table for a game number 1.
Hovering the Lee Sin there, something we were talking about. Lee Sin Ryze is pretty nice. One of my favorite Ryze pairings. Taking it away from Tian as well is really good for the series. I think Ezreal is a very likely addition on 3 here for ThunderTalk for the mobility out of Cataclysm. If you're not going for bot lane, I think that an Ambessa on 3 looks really good too. Always on red side, taking an Ambessa on 3 and then being able to ban for it. But the Ezreal might actually be taken away. Could see Ezreal Karma. Ezreal Leona is not bad. Like, you want some lockdown into Lee Sin, so maybe the Leona or the Nautilus could look quite nice too. I expect Top Esports to go towards a full bot lane and then have, actually instead, I guess, happy with the amount of supports that are up, gonna go for this Rumble blind instead.
Gotta go with the hot pot. But I personally, big fan, JackeyLove Ezreal. Always have been, always will be, even with some of the doubters out there. But some safe play, at least through the bot lane for him, potentially, but also a lot of that late game scaling. Ambessa is going to come through as the answer into that Rumble. So the solo lanes and the jungle already selected for TT.
Yeah, I was talking about the Ambessa on 3 on red side because normally you can pick it blind and then ban it here. But has been something, like you mentioned, that is an answer into Rumble. Struggles in the early game, but not enough. It's one of those matchups that's kind of weird where you're actually okay in it, kind of like a Yorick, where, I mean, Yorick does a lot more damage to Rumble, but it feels a bit awkward to go into the Rumble. Ahri, the ban away here, makes a ton of sense. It's really good with the Jarvan, and we just saw what Creme can do on it. The Nautilus ban for top esports tell me that we're looking to more of an enchanter style. For sure, maybe the Karma get a bunch of wave priority. If that's the case, though, maybe an Annie. There it is. There's the ban. I want some more CC from the top esports core in the mid here. If they do go towards the Karma, and then maybe something like a Syndra, I think you're lacking a little bit of the setup. Now, like something like Syndra does have a ton of, like a good amount of CC, but not like an Annie, not like an Ahri, not like a TF that also could be picked up.
True. And I do like the Ziggs ban here. Ziggs not only just a super efficient, good champion right now, but also pretty decent into the Ezreal matchup. Has a lot of answers for the poke that can come down there. So good focuses from both our teams in the final phase of the first game bans. We'll see now what the counter pick is going to be saved for, because it's got to be either ADC or support. It looks like they're going to go ahead and grab out the Shen. So very strong dive-oriented composition so far.
Yeah, now this is the concern. Like, do you want to go the Karma? I think that Shen can find some very easy catches onto something like a Karma with the Taunt Flash. I mean, maybe you could go towards the Leona. Alistair, the consideration here for Zhuo. Still will get caught by the Taunt Flash, but does have, obviously, the ult to get out of it. And doesn't do too badly into things like Ambessa and Lee Sin. The dive that you were mentioning can really help peel the Ezreal out. But I'm interested, is it going to be something like an Anivia? The Cassiopeia's banned. You typically want something that can match wave clear, has a good amount of range or poke into the Rise. I think that an Anivia would be nice for more walls, but it is going to be the TF that I was talking about before. So now, what AD carry will be going? It's a bit of a tough game. Okay, the Syndra is also a consideration.
I know you were talking a little bit about the setup tools, but we'll see if they do. Yep, they're going to lock that one in. So the Syndra is going to complete the Top Esports Cup. A very standard 2026 composition right now for Top Esports. See what the counter pick's going to be in that bot lane. And I think there's a lot of options.
Yeah, I like... not a huge fan of the Corki, to be honest. I like the Jhin. I like the Xerath a lot.
I like the
ton of AD damage already. Not really a ton of tanks. So the Xerath with the range makes it like a lot of sense. On the Top Esports side, while we wait for this lock-in, as it will be the Xerath.
Okay.
Yeah, I was waiting or wanting the TF for Creme until the Alistair came in. Then I think you've got more options. If you were going to go towards the Karma, you really need that lockdown. With the Alistair, you can afford to go something that's a bit more carry-orientated. With the Syndra, still has lockdown with the Scout of the Week. It's a lot less consistent, a lot less viable. But pairs much better with the Jarvan, and putting Creme on a carry is always a great idea. The Xerath is nice because very hard for Alistar to interact in the lane at all. Matches into the Ezreal range. Even though it's immobile into the Jarvan, the Xerath can play so far back that the Jarvan cage, he'll have to be so far out of position to even get onto the Xerath. So Tian, got to be careful that he doesn't go too far. There's a lot of range on both of these comps and engage. It's kind of like a same side or different sides of the same coin. Like they're very similar comp identities, Mazel.
Very much more a pointed spear for TT, though. I gotta say, they look like they want to try to snowball. They have some options, obviously Ryze scaling throughout the game and a couple other pieces as well, but this is a team that wants to function efficiently together, and those are the kinds of moments that give me some question marks for TT throughout this first round robin and now coming into the second. So putting this on the table, giving themselves a little bit higher of a ceiling, but also a little bit higher of a bar to reach. I'm curious how it's going to work out for TT, because I do feel like it's a pretty easy to execute composition from top esports, and being able to have kind of those consistent, sustained damage fights for them. It's game number 1 of our second series, top esports versus TT. Shout out to the TT fans.
Showing up. Holding it down.
Yeah.
Now there's range for both these comps. I was getting into this a little bit, but not as much for ThunderTalk. So while they are comps that kind of interact in a similar way, you know, you're poking them out first and then maybe going for an engage, the hot pot combo like you mentioned before, obviously the Shen Taunt Flash and Besser ult. There's a lot more range for top esports and a lot more brawl melee we want to run at you the entire game for ThunderTalk. And while I don't think it's super necessary that they have a gold lead early game, because like you mentioned, Ryze scales pretty well. I think Xerath scales pretty well as well with quite a lot of damage. They do need to start making plays on the map, because if you do just sit back, let Ezreal and Syndra get to like a really solid spot. Typically that's for Ezreal, the Trinity Force Mana Moon stacked, and then Syndra, you know, 1 or 2 items mostly going for those passive stacks, which we'll be keeping an eye on. It's going to be a lot harder to engage because you've got Alistar peel, you've got the Syndra self peel, and Ezreal mobility. Junhao looking early.
Oh, look at this. Little level 3 gank in the mid lane. Does get the scout of the week, but both flashes come out in first blood to ThunderTalk.
It's a nice attempt from Creme to try to get away, but Junhao, the early Lee Sin pathing, does the 3 camps top into gank mid. Root out from the Ryze. Pretty difficult for Creme to get away. Really nice try with the flash away and the scout of the week, but like you mentioned, Heru and Junhao both using flash. This is nice from Tian, getting at least something back.
Yeah, you take one thing, you burned 2 flashes for the 1, and you TP right back, so Creme is okay. Decent death. I wouldn't say good death, but decent death.
Yeah. My concern about the flashes is that, I need to hold my thought, as Tian's on the bot side, Lee Sin's here too, looks like just taking a base here, but Cataclysm into Ryze can be scary, but Ryze is so tanky that the flash doesn't really concern me being down this early in the game. There's probably not enough damage to actually fully kill Ryze. He's already getting some prots when he starts building the Catalyst for his rower. It's going to make him even harder to kill. And Lee Sin is so mobile already. Ever since they buffed his W cooldown, made it a lot shorter, really hard to actually catch a Lee Sin out. So the flashes being down is nice, but don't know how much it's actually going to result in.
Decent trades coming in the bot lane 2v2, but yeah, we'll have to return to that. If it does get appointed on, I think that's when we'll have to re-talk about how those resources were used early. But so far, Heru having a little bit of an advantage with that early kill is going to feel pretty good. And especially once this team really comes online at level 6, you expect them to try to hunt in the side lanes. And you can see how quickly the roams are going to be coming through from Heru.
Yeah, it's actually a really good comp to play for individual members. And I think that the individual members you want to play for this game is Shro taking a little visit here in mid.
Just a howdy doody. Heru dodged now, scout of the week. He is fine and dandy. Well, just going to continue making sure he walks all the way out.
I think the members that you're roaming to this game are Keshi and Junhao. Your AD threats. And throughout this mid game, when we get there, Ambassador and Lee Sin are very scary, or they have very scary damage profiles. You've got the Realm Warp, which can escort anyone to the fight, including Heru himself. You've got Arn, who has the ult, right of the Arcane, that can participate from the fight ages away. It also has a ton of range, and you've got Feather's ult. So what I want to see from ThunderTalk is using this small lead to try to create a bigger lead. Either roaming to Junhao to try to force invades, force these dragons, get the early grubs. They're on red side, so dragon access is a lot easier. Or go towards the top lane with Junhao, with Feather, and Heru as well, to try to go for either dives onto Zuian, kills when Zhuan's too far in, as you're often pushing with Rumble, as you just have so much raw wave clear, and try to get your leads that way, because I think that if they don't do that, there's so much of a disadvantage when it comes to the team fights, because while you've got Realm Warp and the Stand United with ThunderTalk, on the other side, you've got Alistair. He's incredibly tanky. You've got the Unleash Power, is that the name of Syndra ult? So much more team fighting potential with the ults from Top Esports Comp.
That's going to come with some of that team play we've been seeing be so lethal from Top Esports in their last couple of series. Again, they're looking for a 6-0 week here. As been playing 3 series a week for a lot of our Ascend teams, and having 2 2-0s already this week, looking to make it a third.
It's pretty scary. Pretty impressive as well, I would say. 6-0 week. See if ThunderTalk can upset that. As a lot of members coming up towards the top side. Zhuo and Tian maybe going for a dive here, but they'll spot Junhao. Equalizer on the wave.
Come down. They just want to check out the situation up here. They are on full vision. Feather's going to move over as well. Realm Warp not being threatened by Heru, and here comes the Cataclysm, immediately flashed out of, as Junhao uses it pretty much on cooldown. They can't get the roam out of Heru, so now it's just a 3v3 with the health bars being fully in favor of Top Esports. I don't know if they have the power to move through into that one, as mid laners started to roam over, and that threatens the play.
The flash out of Lee Sin again. Junhao caught by the bouncy castle combo. Tian will get the red buff. It's a small prize. Slow start to this game. No kills just yet, but still a good prize to get. Putting yourself back in the driver's seat in terms of XP, and should be gold as well. This Feather comes down towards the mid lane. This is something we see a lot of supports doing these days. Just coming to the mid, help out clear, look for a gank, maybe force a summon a spell, Syndra and a mobile mage. Very easy for Feather to force that. Junhao is on the dragon. Our top piece, what's going to be here in time?
So I will say Tian's done a really, really good job of getting some XP over Junhao, but it's not going to matter in this situation. Tian's just going to be on vision. True Shot Barrage, way too late. Right. Does hit Junhao, does do a decent amount of damage, but the dragon has already gone over to TT. We do have the grubby tubbies coming up in about 5 seconds or so. As JackeyLove getting aggressed by On. There is a bit of an advantage down here for On for the time being, as he does have a level over JackeyLove.
A lot of cross-mapping in this game so far, as
Keshi
tries to look. Grubs for the dragon, and then earlier looking for a dive, just getting the flash. Not a whole lot of fully committing to these things and trying to look for big fights as of just yet, which I think isn't uncommon in a game that looks like this. Yes, you've got the Lee Sin, the Ambassador, the Jarvan, these champions that really want to skirmish early, but then you've also got your carries who don't want to. Ezreal wants to poke, and he can do a lot of damage, and yeah, so can...
Look at this, though.
Here comes the roam, though.
So we have the roam, but more so, I'm just looking at Tian, man. Tian is just cherry-picking TT's jungle over and over again, finding camps left and right, constantly invading every time they see Junhao across the map, and finally Junhao invades on his own terms and is able to get a little bit of that back. His Feather actually takes an engage on a Zhuo. Zhuo doesn't have the Unbreakable yet, and we'll be okay for now at least. As the back is being completed from JackeyLove. Realm Warp coming in. Zhuo doesn't have the ult, doesn't have any way out, and will just be taken down by Junhao.
Yeah, I think Zhuo really wants to get the XP from this wave to get that level 6 because he is half a level down, maybe a little bit more. But it obviously is the wrong call. Heru comes down with a nice Realm Warp and Zhuo's mistake. I think that while, yeah, Tian is invading, but Junhao has an XP and a gold lead. He's doing better despite the fact that Tian is kind of what it feels like all over Junhao's camps, whether that's the kill or whether that's because we just aren't seeing him do the invades on his own. I think that ThunderTalk in such a great position. Equalizer down. Shouldn't
Keshi
quite be a kill.
very close to going down. He's okay for now. Didn't have to burn the flash. Was wondering if we were going to see a bit of an aggressive patch.
Yeah, I think that while top esports, it feels like they're doing things, they're not actually getting any tangible advantage. While Zuian's got a bit of a lead, Junhao has a lead. Creme has 200 gold lead, On has double that, just due to the lane and the assist and some plates that he's been picking up. ThunderTalk are very happy right now to just make their cross-map plays, keep their lanes winning that aren't top lane, and allow Junhao to just roam around, continue to impact the map. And even though JackeyLove's CS isn't suffering, he is suffering in the items. Already the Luden's completed for On. 2 minutes from now when the Dragon spawns, JackeyLove should have his Trinity Force, but for now, ThunderTalk are in a really nice position.
And we'll see if they can continue using some of that power to get into the side lanes some more. Still use these Realm Warps once they become available for Heru. We are looking at a move towards the side lane now, as there's the Stand United onto Keshi. It's going to be a 2-for-1 for now, or at least 2v1, now a 2v2, now a 3v2, as Top Esports going to try to make an escape. We're going to turn into a 3v3, now a 3v4 in favor of Top Esports, and now turns into a 4v4, but it's TT falling down. They're losing their health bars, and this is exactly what we foreshadowed to, JBetto. It doesn't matter what the early game machinations are for TT, something always falters.
Yeah, Creme continuing on to the Heru. Nice out of the weak, forces the flash out. I mean, Creme is out-rotating Heru on Rise. That's as much as you need to know for how that fight went. If that's happening in a game like this, not great. Tian rotates over, Zhuo puts in a ton of work in that fight too, and even though Feather's ult is early, there's not enough damage. If you take a look back, so it's the start of the all-in. Zhuo is on the roam up, which is really well timed. Here comes the Stand United, but Zhuo is ready for it. And he's going to buy so much time here with the CC. Cancels Junhao on the engage. Zuian flashes out. Like, this is time that Zuian would be dead if this didn't happen. Then Tian comes in. Then Creme's here as well. Way earlier than Heru on this Rise. That's a roaming champion that we wanted to see Heru impact the side lanes. Some heroics here from Zhuo and Creme as they get here. Impact the map, impact the fight drastically. 5 seconds on this Dragon. Look at the flashes for ThunderTalk.
Yeah. Big thing here, though. They're finally going to have On joining in on these parties. He is a Xerath, and God, if you haven't seen Xerath, he does a lot of damage, even on the one item spike.
Yeah.
With the Rite of the Arcane, you can really whittle people down. And so they are going to try to take pole position on this Dragon. It would be a second Dragon for them in a row on the way to their soul. Top Esports are here to defend.
This is also uncomfortable if ThunderTalk do end up giving this, which it looks like they might. Look at JackeyLove's items. He doesn't have Trinity Force yet, and Arn does have that Ludens. Really was expecting JackeyLove to have that item finished. Still,
look at On's
no
poke,
flashes
though.
for the ThunderTalk.
Okay, they're just going to get it. There's the Rite of the Arcane I was talking about. I feel like if they had been a little bit more ambitious, things could have been a little bit more chaotic, at least, for TT. But the Dragon just goes the way of Top Esports, so they even that one up as well.
Yeah, keeping the game close. And while I do think that On, pretty scary at the moment. I guess ThunderTalk not happy with the position and state of that Dragon. I think Heru with ult, like, maybe can contest, but the concern is probably that Zuian is off of vision and he has TP up. We know he wasn't TPing, he was walking down, but ThunderTalk didn't know that. So very likely this level 11 Rumble with ult available, pretty scary. Junhao's down on the bot lane, pretty hard to catch this Ezreal, but looking for it.
He wants it. He's going to use the ward hop. He's going to use the kick combo, and JackeyLove taken down by Junhao. Finds himself a second kill, but now they've really overextended for this one. Junhao is going to try with his fancy feet to get away. Realm Warp's going to deliver Heru, but Junhao's already dead. Your right-hand man is already gone, Heru, and you're not going to be able to run away from the grip of Tian and Creme, the Wonder Star duo of top esports.
And that flash is an important one. Arn in the mid lane also looked like he might have lost his flash as well. Don't think we saw that. That might have been down the bottom. But Feather losing flash, Arn losing flash in that to get a negative trade. It is a good play from Junhao, but they go too far deep like you mentioned. And that Realm Warp from Heru, not pretty. So as we take a look back here, I want to see when does Arn use flash, because I didn't see it. And that's a really important summon to spell down. It looks like Zhuo might have comboed him here. Feels the need to flash. I don't agree. I mean, maybe with Creme there as well, it might have been a one-shot. Zhuo in top, he's everywhere.
Oh, no. The lockdown's going to come through with the scat of the week. Creme doesn't have the power unleashed, but he has teammates, and he has Tian, who smites Keshi from above and takes the kill there. Again, top esports strike strong.
Time and time again in this meta, Mazel, we've seen the jungle support link-up be the most important thing. Zhuo is absolutely everywhere on the map as the Rite of the Arcane is used. JackeyLove with some nice movement should be able to get away.
Fun, man.
He's not having a good time in this lane. Yeah. He does live. Junhao could catch.
Oh, this is... He's going to walk straight into a control ward here. He doesn't realize Junhao's below him. TT, there it comes. The combo's there, and before he can even see him, he is already dead. Oh, he barely got it. Junhao actually stole that away. He hit it with an auto attack to take it, by the way. Junhao does end up falling as Tian just sticks the fight into him. And that will be a martyrdom death there for Feather, but he was, I believe, able to get the Herald Eye. So there you go. He got that, and Heru will also be getting a decent chunk on the bot lane tier 2.
Yeah, a little bit of gold here for Heru. Need to see him actually get active in the fights, though, with this gold, because even though he's getting gold, look at Creme's gold lead. This game for top esports is two things right now. The first one is the jungle support link up like I was talking about. Zhuo being everywhere on the map, it feels like, and Tian is finding more impact in the team fight. The other one is Creme, and he is putting on an unreal performance here. Nice flash, ward jump kick, Q from Junhao, nice mechanics. It feels like it's a great position. Junhao gets the kill on the Ezreal, gets the Herald, starts to take the fight. Creme comes in and ends it all right there. One shots Junhao, goes forward and stops Feather as well with the ult. Tons of damage from this Syndra. It feels like, okay, you take down JackeyLove on this Ezreal. We're dealing with the support jungle combo. In a good position, Creme comes out of nowhere and just takes you out.
And that's the power of having multiple heads on the Hydra, especially for some of our top teams here, and especially for top esports. You might be able to knock down one of them, but there's always another, and Creme has truly been performing these last two series. It's been really impressive to watch, and really silencing some of the consistency doubters, I guess, for the top esports mid laner. But now on 2 items with 10 stacks on his Dark Seal, I feel like Creme is, he's cooking in this game, number 1 at least.
Yeah, I remember Cubby asking and using a graphic. I think it was a lower third.
There was a lot of those. There was a lot
for Creme, like the cream of the crop, I think it was, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10. I think Cubby would be pretty happy and impressed with the way that Creme has been playing in the last couple of games. Definitely towards the top end of that scale. He has been monstrous. He is a lot of nothing is what I'm going to say. That's the Stand United, that's the Realm Warp. They're trying to impact the side lanes, Mazel, and it's just not working.
They are going to get the turret at least. It's not first turret. They get some plates, but this is also giving the dragon over. So second dragon in a row for top esports. They're losing turrets in bot lane. They're potentially going to lose a little bit in mid lane as well. We'll see if it ends up panning out for them, but they just felt like they needed to get something on the map.
It's a very macro-focused game, which for the LPL, especially not if it's the two top teams fighting, it isn't the most common. And top esports are showing that they are clearly better in the macro right now. At the beginning, I wasn't as sure. It felt like ThunderTalk were in a fine position, and top esports were trying things on their own, and it wasn't really working. Now, the situation has flipped. Top esports are trying things, and... ThunderTalk are trying things, and top esports are finding a much bigger window. Nice stun!
No.
Wow.
Oh, if he was in range for the power unleashed, that's a kill. On barely scrapes away with his life. But this also goes back to something I was talking about coming out of draft, and that ease of execution. You look at the ease of execution for top esports. I mean, it's pretty damn simple. You just throw a couple bodies, layer everything else on top of it, and it works out peachy fine. But it is the other side of things for TT that they need combos to land. They need things to be entering the backline at the same time. They have extreme dive presence. And we now, on a back foot, haven't been able to see that from them.
They also don't really do objectives that well either, which is a concern for the comp. It's a very common thing with the double mage comp. You don't really have a massive Baron threat ever, so you can't pull those sneaky T1 style Barons where you end up flipping the game back on its head. You're not able to do dragons that fast, whereas Rumble, Ezreal, Jarvan, they do Baron Dragon pretty quick, right? So now you're in a position in this game where, yeah, Arn has a lead. Creme is monster fed. 10 stacks Darkseal, working on his third item, which is Zhonya's. You thought he was hard to kill before. With the range, he's going to be even harder to kill if he's ever gotten on top of here. You know, if Junhao manages to get a nice insec attempt, well, Zhonya's comes through. Doesn't work. It's going to be the Herald in mid to try to crack this tower. TP in from Creme to answer.
They look like they want the fight here. All I'm going to say on Creme, he hasn't bought the book yet, and that makes me sad, but he might just be looking for kills instead. As the Rift Herald does crash in the mid lane, doesn't take the turret, and top esports regain a little bit of positioning around this top side river. They want Keshi. Keshi's going to have to flash out of Cataclysm, so that will be something that can be returned to, but he is alive for now.
Forcing ThunderTalk out of the jungle. The mid lane play doesn't work. It's feeling a little desperate from ThunderTalk, and I don't necessarily think it needs to. They do have damage late game. Nice flash from Feather, but Creme is just putting so much pressure on. I think it's been quite a quiet game from Heru, and I know it's not the easiest comp for him to interact with, but that's your late game scaling. That's your late game insurance right there.
Oh, this is a lot of everything. Stand United with the Realm Warp on 2. They do find the kill, but it's going to go over to Feather. I know it's not the biggest thing in all the grand scheme of things, but that's 300 golds you'd really like to have on somebody else.
Yeah, you'd love it on Heru right now on this Rise. I mean, here's the attempt. I was talking about this a bit earlier. I don't think this is possible with this comp.
He's getting chunked already, losing huge hits of health there by the Baron. They have to immediately pull off. I thought I was about to have to start my Obsession arc.
Take a look back at this.
You haven't seen the movie, have you?
I have. What did you... Obsession art? Is that what you said? Or arc?
Arc.
Sometimes your accents, they get me, and I don't actually know what you guys say. Speaking of that, on, I hate the way you guys say on. It's always like on, and it sounds like on to me. I can't
just tell me you hate me, man. It's fine. We're live on broadcast.
No, I have seen the movie. It's great. Very scary. Great performances as well.
True.
So you're saying, wait, which role are you in this situation? Let's say
I started
just
saying
pull the Baron.
no over and over.
Oh, I thought we were having a nice game.
There we go. We got there in the end. That's the coordination that maybe TT need some of. As Keshi's gonna get the whole kitchen sink thrown at him. I said they were gonna return to that no flash Ambessa, and they did just that. Found him in the side lane.
Doesn't work. Wow. They just can't do it. They try. Immediately think, no, damage isn't good enough. Creme's around. He one-shots both of us. Not a great spot right now. Because of the brawly nature of ThunderTalk's comp 2, this Ocean Soul is going to get a ton of value if it does go over to top esports.
Ooh, tried to go for the Shadow Dash there.
They just can't engage. Creme's Syndra has been so good this game at not only doing damage and finding these solo kills, but the Scout of the Weeks have been so perfect.
Zuian, I don't think you win that. Heru's getting there. He's doesn't have the actualizer yet, but 2 items, pretty strong. Third dragon going to go to top esports, though, so they'll be that much closer to an Ocean Soul that this team comp is pretty terrifying with.
This feels... I don't often say this. Hang on.
Nice combo. 900 smackaroos to Junhao and TT.
Tian? We in trouble here?
Should be okay. He is getting surrounded a bit. Does have the flag and drag, and Feather has to be careful on the other side. As on doesn't hit. As that's going to be a decent amount of damage that could have come through. Shot barrage goes completely wide from JackeyLove. Creme getting caught once. Kind of evened up this game though, JBetto.
Yeah, not too bad. I was going to say, this feels kind of like a game where I want to talk about the tempo vibes. You know what I'm saying? Where the kills are even, the gold's even, the dragons are, yeah, they're there. Ocean Soul's not, even though I think it is good this game, it's not the most game-changing. But it just feels like top esports are winning the game. And they are winning the game, but I mean more than they actually are on the numbers side. And I don't know how it feels for the players in game who don't have the numbers we have. Don't know that the gold is so close. Now, after that shutdown, maybe a little different, but Creme still has this massive gold lead.
Yeah.
And while Arn has a gold lead equal to or greater than, it doesn't feel the same as Creme's gold lead.
Do feel like we're going to feel that, though, here very soon. I mean, 3 items on Xerath is no joke whatsoever. And I know Creme's about to hit his max stacks there as well and get the big tick over of the AP, but I still think On has a lot to say in this game, but it's going to be about positioning. It's about that mechanical execution, that ceiling that TT want to reach.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I really think that the Lee Sin is getting to the point where he's going to start falling off and turns into just like a kick bot. And Bessa, while is strong, if she goes into a backline like this, she'll just die or get pushed away. R needs to do so much, and Heru needs to show up and find a good angle. If he can get towards this actualizer, would do so much for his damage. But again, it's really hard to get onto champions like this Ezreal, and out of lane when Syndra's in a team fight, even though she's a mobile, also pretty hard to get onto her too.
JackeyLove's got Junhao hunting him here, but they will be able to get a little bit of an angle right at the arcane. You can see how much damage it does. He even stops for the auto attack on the ward, by the way. I was going to arcane shift out of that last shot. Not too shabby. He's a bit worse for wear now, and Junhao still has him in his sights.
It's a position that feels scary, but how is he actually going to get onto JackeyLove here? Doesn't have a great amount of vision.
He just wants to execute him from his team. He can't find
dead.
the angle, and now he's caught. All 5 members of Top Esports surround Junhao, and no longer does he have a life.
I think that could be Baron, you know. Finds a stun there.
Okay. They were thinking about chasing. They don't really find the angle to continue forward. They are pinging onto the Baron, though, my friend, and they could just absolutely set the tone of this game.
And there is a lot of damage from ThunderTalk's side. They're marching in, but fully blind on the map, as you can see here. How do they walk in?
But the Scatter the Weak came through. Now they don't really have any peel tools. Onto the back line goes Keshi, and onto Creme goes Keshi. They do still have JackeyLove, who has been absolutely popping shots into the backs of TT this entire fight. TT are scattered to the wind now, and they might start losing some more of those players as Keshi able to dash out of Zuian. Unfortunately, they do end up losing Heru, and Feather, after all is said and done, does fall to JackeyLove. So after it started looking so good for TT, it ends up being a 4-for-1.
Yeah, not a great position for ThunderTalk. Felt like it might have been a fight they could win, but Arn engaged on in the backside.
I don't know if he wins that. I mean, if he heats up, he does. The kick comes through from Junhao, takes the honey fruit. He had to make sure.
TP back from Arn. TP back from, I believe, Creme as well. Into the mid lane here. Yeah, this is the problem with Xerath. And why he's not really played in mid that often. He's very easy to kill. So Keshi gets caught very easily. Arn dies instantly, and then Heru, well, yes, Keshi does take Creme. The Realm Warp gets cancelled here by Tian. Heru gets taken down as well a little bit later, and then it's just split off into these small little skirmishes.
Yeah.
Tian will chase down Heru. Top lane will chase down top lane. And Feather gets chased down as well eventually.
Yeah.
Dies to the Ezreal. Back
I'll
alive.
just say, okay, Creme almost dying. Actually, he's doing really good job. Has to go
That's
gold in
Zonya's.
there, but he gets the kill anyways as he goes into his Zanyas. And now it's just free season on TT. Keshi tries to go to the back line with the public execution, but he can't even get Creme. A double kill comes through for JackeyLove. And man, it just gets bad to worse for TT. Down 5,000 gold and soul on the table for Top Esports.
Very likely could be Baron as well. It feels like the game has just crumbled away for ThunderTalk. 5k like you mentioned, the Ocean Soul, the Baron up next. And Creme is just doing so much. Tian is buying time with Zhuo, but Creme's self-peel, the CC set up for his team, the damage he's able to put out with these completed stacks. The Zonyas was perfectly timed too. He may have lost some Dark Seal stacks. The ring isn't as shiny, but he's got some other nice little toys to play with here and some other items. He is taking over this game.
Almost a point-blank realm warp there that Heru will not take. There's a little bit of threat onto the turret to be able to take that one down. That's going to feel okay for them as we take a look back at that fight, and they tried so hard to get Creme.
Yeah, beautiful. This is all Creme. No one is really helping him here. Like, Zhuo pushes Junhao away, but it's the scatter of the weak, the movement, and then the Zonyas. ThunderTalk goes so far forward to try to take down this main carry that is this Syndra, and then they're out of position. Zhuo and
look at
Tian
the mages.
go forwards. And he's still here, which is terrifying. He's 1 HP with no flash, and he's like, no, guys, I'm still fine to fight right now.
And I just watched On and Heru just kind of walk back and forth. Yeah, throw a couple spells here and there, but they weren't really part of that fight. And that's some of the troubling with the positioning that TT have had. I'm not going to lie, I was going to talk about before these fights kicked off, that last fight that On got caught in that kind of river choke point. If the position was a little bit better, that fight goes, I feel like, completely different for him. But that's the problem with these kinds of compositions. You have to be executing on the highest level, and that was the threat we said was facing TT. So far, Top Esports have had every answer into this composition, and they are just crossing the T's, dotting the I's at this point.
Yep. And after all of this, the bot lane gold lead is completely evened up. We can't see it right now, but JackeyLove, I believe, has a gold lead. If he does, you can see Creme up 3k. ThunderTalk have lost all footing in this game. Minute and 20 on Baron. It feels like the game is just over.
Junhao tries to go for the play on the JackeyLove. Doesn't find the connection. Right at the Arcane coming in with the Realm Warp. JackeyLove still alive. JackeyLove still kicking. Cleanses out of the Realm Prison. And Heru's now going to be the one that falls first. Creme still alive. Top Esports, they're not even going to lose a single body as everybody from TT is vanquished. Top Esports rise triumphantly in game number 1 and are 1 game away from a 6-0 week in week number 3 of the regular season.
It felt like it was over because it absolutely was over, Mazel. It's a valiant effort from ThunderTalk at the end here to try to look for something, some kind of fight, some kind of engage. Maybe we can kill the Ezreal. Maybe we can kill this Syndra. You can't kill either. Both of them pretty difficult to get on top of at the end of this game. And after a slow start from Top Esports in the beginning of that game, Creme absolutely exploded. ThunderTalk couldn't really do anything to him. He was carrying every fight. That transitioned the lead onto Tian, onto JackeyLove. I think that Zhuo and Tian played really well together. I think it's a pretty slam dunk MVP for Creme as well. A pretty monstrous game from the Top Esports squad.
Yeah, and I think it all starts, I know I'm going to harp on it, but the Tian Creme combo is really coming alive. Tian was just constantly asking questions to Junhao. Hey, are you going to be here at your camp? No? Oh, you're going to be on the other side of the camp? Okay, I'll take this one. Oh, no, you're not here right now. You just did something on top side? Oh, okay, I'll take this one. And just constantly forcing these pressure decisions from Junhao. And yes, Creme over the top, the alley-oop. I mean, it requires 2 people to get that point. But it still is the fact that this combination is starting to look just the power level that we expect them to be at. Yes,
and hopefully they can transition that internationally, but we don't have to talk about that right now because domestically, in a split 2, they looked great. So far in this split, they've looked awesome and contesting that top seed. which is, you know, BLG and Top Esports. That's the two teams that we're really looking at. Arn did a lot of damage, but this is kind of what I was talking about. Heru had a really quiet game. A couple of attempts of realm warps in the top side, but man, the global ults, the semi-globals that this ThunderTalk team comp had, I expected so much more movement throughout the early game.
Yeah, and they weren't able to really connect those. They were also delving a ton of resources to those side lane plays that never really panned out for them as well. But that's also back to the conversation point of Top Esports just having pretty damn good macro in this game. I mean, JackeyLove was oppressed, and that was pretty funny to watch. But it was about everything else that Top Esports were getting during those plays or during these downtime moments, and this is where things really started to turn around.
Yeah, the interrupt from Junhao, ridiculous. Buys so much time. He's 1v3ing with ult. Alistair can do that. Does get a lot of damage immunity. I also think that Tian had 100% KP in a game that had this many
unkilled
kills is unbelievable. Unbelievable performance from Tian. I could see a MVP vote for him as well. And it's crazy because I guess Jarvan is one of those champions that oftentimes can go under the radar in, okay, he's hitting an EQ, he hits a Cataclysm, but every kill was impacted by this Jarvan. So there's like one mistake here by Creme, but really it's just a creative play from Junhao. I can't fault him. He tries to go for it again, ends up getting caught here. This is basically what ends the game. They lose so much map presence over this. They lose the Soul a bit later. They lose the Baron after that here too. And while ThunderTalk had a good start to this game, I really think the macro is where it fell apart. These later on team fights is really where it fell apart too.
And I hate to say it again, but we called it. That's literally been the moniker of TT, and honestly the trio of our bottom three teams here in Group Ascend is they can give a couple punches. They'll last about half a round or maybe even a round into the fight, but in the end, we just see the difference in execution come out for the top teams. And this is the second time these two teams are meeting. It was much closer the first time around. It went 2-1, obviously, to Top Esports. But for TT, it feels like some of that momentum is starting to be vacuumed out.
Yeah, to have a player who, like, yes, this is what you want to do on a champion like Syndra, but to do as much as Creme did in this game is unbelievable as well. Like, every stun was finding value, whether it was finding a pick or looking for a pick. This is the last-ditch effort here. You just can't kill JackeyLove. He has everything up. You can't do it to Creme either. The scatter of the weeks are just too much. And yeah, for him to play a champion like this and get value out of every single time he used his abilities, every time he used his E, you really can't ask for more than that. Well, I can see a vote. Well, I can see a vote for Tian. I think that Creme he just played so well in this first game. It felt like at times he was just 1v5ing ThunderTalk's engages.
Yeah, and we'll see who they end up giving it to, what the votes end up looking like as well, because it's tough. It's tough. It's gotta be Tian or Creme. I mean, that's at least decided. But yes. I think it's a really tough conversation between the two. But I'm sure they'll be unveiling that here rather quickly. But man, TT not able to get the job done. I wonder if they go with a little bit more stock. Whoa!
Someone
His
call
first MVP?
The support represent. He did have a good game. He did. Some of these,
but
I wouldn't have been my vote. Wouldn't have been my vote. But the top lane play was good. I expect the vote to be pretty close. We'll take a look at it here in a moment. But his peel was good. He had some good engages. Sometimes you got to rep the support. What can I say?
3 wards per minute.
It's pretty good.
Good.
That's a lot of wards. That's a good amount of vision.
A lot of wards.
What is that pose? It's got the C. I don't know if you saw that, but wow!
He got 7 of 8. Did I miss something?
I think I might have too.
Did I not see that game properly? Do I need to get glass? JBetto, tell me. Do I need glasses?
I definitely do. I know I do. Because I watched Creme in one of those fights avoid 4 people by himself, get a kill and Zhonya's, and then participate in the fight again. I'm not saying that Troy didn't have a good game. He did. Maybe a couple of votes, but anyway, I don't want to, you know, harp on the wrong point here. I don't want to take it away from Zhuo. A great game from all of Top Esports. Zhuo was part of that. Great engager, some great peel. Looked great on the Alistair. We were talking about his history before on different teams and what he can bring to this team. And obviously we saw in this game what he can bring on an active pick. I think a lot of our supports have found themselves again now that the enchanters are gone. It felt like at the beginning of this year when it was Nami, Milio, every single game, we didn't really see a lot of support shining. And now it feels like we're getting back to that, seeing what's making a lot of our supports be really special.
True. And we'll have to see if TT can find some specialness in game number 2 and see if they can bring us all the way to 3. We'll see.